Oh. Hi, everybody. Clarence Hill's at the Star. Joe Hoyt's at the Star. Dak and Jerry, the Mike Zimmer difference. Oh, my. It's the DLLS Cowboys show, and you are here, and it is meow. All right, welcome in, everybody. It is the DLLS Cowboys podcast, episode number 4, and we promise it'll be one of the 4 best shows that we've done in the history of the show.
You need help.
Maybe top 3. The panel in front of you only has 3 people on it right this second, but we do have the other 2 members of our show out at the Star in Frisco, covering the Cowboys for you, and we'll visit with Clarence Hill here in our first segment. We'll visit with Tell Him Something JoJo.
Yeah, Tell Him Something Joe.
Is that his name now?
In
That's
the
what we're
second
calling
segment.
him?
Yeah,
Call me
because it's Bad Boys.
Joe.
Movie Bad Boys.
Oh, tracking.
Yeah. And so, hi, I'm Jeff Kavanaugh, and I have my proverb of the day for you. And if this just give me my solo shot.
There we go.
More me. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us.
Okay.
That's from Gandalf.
Okay.
In honor of the Rings of Power being back today.
Oh.
It's my TV show.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Aisha Morrison is our analyst, film junkie. Not a badass. Used to be, though. Do you have a proverb? Any piece of advice? Anything for the people?
Empathy is your superpower. Use it.
She always does real stuff. I love that.
Give me one of those things.
I'm tired.
Oh, boy.
Before we introduce Jesse Holly, we have a comment on YouTube. You grab an Ocho Cinco from the airport today, Jeffy?
Dog.
It's tomorrow, and we're working on it. We're trying to pick up Ocho Cinco from the airport.
Yes.
If y'all want to send in some
Spam
breakfast
him.
money,
Oh, I said spam.
well, do both. Spam him, send breakfast money, because he's going to want to go to McDonald's for breakfast.
He said we could go to IHOP and talk Cowboys.
He wanted to
And
do
I told
IHOP.
him we could go to McDonald's, and then he could come talk with us for an hour.
Let's do it.
So we're working on it. That's Jesse Holly, by the way.
You know what? I used to have a really, really, really bad addiction to hokey pokey, but I turned myself around.
Okay.
Y'all,
Okay.
this is what I didn't know where he was going with that. I thought hokey pokey was code for something.
Okay.
It sounds like something that you don't want to catch.
Yeah.
Turn myself around.
I know we're off to a terrible start, but please still hit the like button. Obviously, you don't like what we've done so far, but just as a favor to us, hit the like button
Yes.
and subscribe to youtube.com/@DLLS_sports. And if you're a listener in Podcastville, subscribe wherever you like, Spotify, Apple, whatever. All right, we're going to turn our attention out to the Star in Frisco, where our friend Clarence Hill is out there. And has been for the last couple of days. Well, he's been with the Cowboys all of camp, and now that they're back here, he's out there chasing people around.
Clarence.
Good morning, Clarence.
How you guys doing, man? Am I squared up in the mic?
Uh-oh.
Katya, you're probably going to have to do something with headphones or something because we cannot hear Clarence. Hi,
Can't hear
Clarence.
me.
There we go. We got you now,
It's
Can you
okay.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Week 1.
Can you hear me, Mad Dog?
I can hear you. I hear you.
What do you
Jesse,
got going on? What are you
Jesse, that was
tracking?
hopeful.
Oh,
Jesse, that
crap.
was hopeful.
This is going
that
to be
was
awful.
hopeful.
This is going to be a train wreck.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
No, we can hear you.
Well, we can.
Okay. I mean, we're tracking. We got Mike McCarthy talking for the first time, since cuts and since Dalvin Cook was brought here and big outdoor practice after that 2 walk-through night practices. They got a real practice today out at the Star in the sun for the first time. We'll see if the Cowboys can deal with that heat. Texas heat for the first time.
Now, I heard that maybe Jerry was he taking shots at you, jabs at you, talking crap to you when he was talking and you introduced yourself as Clarence Hill and you didn't say Star Telegram?
I said All City. It's as Jerry said, it lifts all boats. Keep talking about us. We want you to say All City. So I had to say All City like 4 times in the press conference. That helps All City, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it goes everywhere. It helps All City. So, it's funny because he said, "What's that? All City? Where's that? What kind of digital site is that?" Then he said, "You had some good stories to open the site. You had some good stories to open the site." Yes, Jerry, I had your story to open the site. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course,
That
that
tell
went
you-
viral. Everybody's talking. I was on Rich Eisen earlier today talking about the Jerry story for All City.
Let's
Where
go.
are you at All City? I'm at All City. All City, Dallas.
Yes, home of Jerry Jones using F words as often as he can
Oh my God.
via Clarence Hill. Well, he did. That was the story, is how often he used the F word, I thought.
There's no question. And one thing that we got from Jerry yesterday, basically, my other story, based on that conversation I had with Jerry in camp about Dak Prescott and how they were not going to sign Dak Prescott before the start of the season. Jerry basically reiterated that that's not the focus. They're ready for the season. I don't know if he's trying to put more heat on Dak. Certainly in my article that I wrote yesterday, he talked about we're going to have to play with less. And when we sign Dak, and I think we're going to sign him, we're going to have to do it with less players. We're going to have less talent around him. It's going to have to be rookies and journeyman players because we have no more pie. Because we give it to Dak, and then we give it to CD, and we give it to Micah, and he has to play with less pie.
Am I wrong that every time that you sound convinced because of what he said, when it's like, Jerry's like, no, probably not before the season, but he'll probably be here, whatever. As soon as he says that, I think, okay, they're going to get it done before the season. Like that, I hear Jerry say his words, and then I try to guess my interpretation, which is I'm saying this out loud so that Dak and his agent hear that we're not going to get it done before the start of the season, so then they call me and we get it done before the start of the season.
Well, I hear you. And a Cowboy staffer said, he just said that, but it may not happen. It may get done before the season. And we always go by just because Jerry says it don't make it so, because he lies all the time. But I would say this, you're not putting more pressure on Dak. Dak is in the catbird seat.
Yeah.
Dak knows either you come to my number or I have untold millions coming in free agency because I have a no trade clause, I have a no franchise tag clause. You cannot put more pressure on Dak. You cannot heat Dak up and say, if you don't get it done before the season, we're going to come to your number. That's not how it works. It may work in Jerry's mind, but that's not how it works in reality.
And for Dak, I mean, I know that you said that you can't put any more pressure on Dak, but if his hope and dreams and want to is to be a Dallas Cowboy, there is some expectation that, buddy, you got to perform. Like, you got to do something to continue to keep that revenue power generating. I mean, because if you go and you crap the bed this season, that dwindles your number a little bit, right?
Well, we're having two different conversations. We were talking about if he was Jerry's trying to put pressure on the sign before the season.
Okay, I got you.
He can't put pressure on the sign before the season. Certainly Dak knows he has to play. I mean, there's nobody who wants to play better or more than Dak. There's no one who wants to succeed, more than Dak. Okay. So Jerry, this money is not the carrot that makes him want to succeed and do better. You're a football player. You know that. I have it in me. I have personal pride. I love what I do. I want to be known as one of the best quarterbacks. This whole money thing is not what motivates him to be the best quarterback. But I will tell you this, Dak's not going to crap the bed. First of all, he's not a crap the bed quarterback.
Hell, Claire.
So that's not on the table. Whether he gets further than they've gone in the past is the question. But again, when you look, Dak is a top 10 quarterback. The only quarterbacks that succeed in the playoffs is Patrick Mahomes. Nobody else has won anything anyway. I mean, that's what's so crazy. We put all this stuff on Dak. He can't. Who's won? If winning the playoff game is not winning, I'm sorry. It's always been about rings, except when it comes to Dak. And then, this guy won at least one playoff game, so he's better than Dak. No, that was never the goal. The goal ain't to win one playoff game anyway. Okay? The goal is to win the Super Bowl, get to the Super Bowl and win. The only guy that has done that is Patrick Mahomes. Nobody else.
It is pretty confident.
Russell Wilson, baby.
It is pretty cool to be able to sit back.
Russell Wilson.
It is pretty cool to be able to sit back and be like, for Dak, and be like, I'm not really worried about, buddy. Then you look up and you go, yeah, it's because you already have $157 million. I wouldn't be worried about money and contracts either when that's at the bank of whatever he banks at.
Yeah, we've seen that anytime he's bet on himself, he makes them pay. He just comes out and has a good season, 5,000 yard season, a whole bunch of touchdowns. Like,
I mean, he snapped his leg in half, and they had to set the market for him.
Yeah.
There's nothing that could happen that would cause him to not get all of the money.
And understand this. Dak is playing free. He's mentally free. He's playing the best football in his career. He had the best season of his career. You got to understand it. You're coming off the best season of your career. After all the crap you've taken, all the criticism you've taken over the years, you have the best. 1 year after leading the league in interception, when everybody was killing you, you have the best season of your career. You lead the league in touchdown passes. You finished second in NFL MVP balloting. Now you're in your second year in this Mike McCarthy offense. You feel good about your game. There's a confidence that is just watching him in camp that is flowing through Dak. And so he's playing. He's feeling no pain right now. Certainly he's motivated to win, all that stuff. But this whole idea that this pressure, and he's not walking around with the weight of the world on his head.
Yeah, his demeanor doesn't say that. But to your point, Clarence, I do feel like this might have been his best camp that I've seen him have. And again, we weren't there, but you can tell he's taking that step into, this is probably what he is. Like, what we saw last year, this is probably what we should expect from him moving forward. And if that's the case, then that's a good quarterback that can win you a lot of games.
And if you've been watching tape, and as you have been, this was his best camp. And as I've tried to tell people, he had his whole camp without CD Lamb. He had the last week camp without, Brandon Cooks. And I remember years ago, and I wrote about it, I talked about it, they were not scoring touchdowns in training camp, okay? Can you imagine going to training? They weren't scoring touchdowns in 7-on-7. They weren't scoring touchdowns in team. It was bad. The receiving core was bad. And again, without CD, without Cooks, Dak was moving the ball down the field, scoring with Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Brooks and Jalen Cropper, the three Jalens, and T. Billy Johnson. And that was before Flournoy came out and started playing. So and one thing that Jordan Lewis told me, after one of the practices, after one, he hit Cropper on a 4th and 19, something over the middle of the back of the end zone touchdown. And he said, Dak is elevating these guys. One of these things that people said about, this is Jordan Lewis, this is not me. He said one question that people always talk about, that, can they elevate these guys? That throw right there, he elevated Jalen Cropper. That's an example of him elevating these players. Thing that Jerry said is going to have to happen when Dak gets paid. He's going to have to elevate the players around him. Well, he's showing some of that.
He's already done that, though.
I was say, I think that's kind of always been a thing with him.
Cole
that it's
Beasley.
like you just have to find you can find the haters easily. The haters are the people who make stuff up. Where it's like, well, Dak doesn't elevate people around him, and I'm like, you guys know that Noah Brown got paid to go to Houston, right?
Right.
And he just got cut.
Even with Cole Beasley, I thought
Noah
that
Brown, Cole Beasley, Cedric Wilson, and
he's getting people paid.
Quite frankly, I mean, he revived. I mean, Amari Cooper had a part, but he helped revive Amari Cooper's career as well. Like, there's been quite a few guys that I think have benefited from his play. So this ain't nothing new to us.
All right, Clarence Hill, have fun. It's good to talk to you, buddy. We'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, Clarence.
Well, he just claps.
I don't know why.
He just claps.
Did he clap?
Yeah.
He just claps.
He just don't know
Slap
what to
yourself
do with
out.
his hands.
Yeah.
That's okay. All right, coming up next, we will check in out there one more time with our buddy Joe Hoyt, who has a great piece up on alldlls.com this morning about Mike Zimmer and the changes coming to this Cowboys defense. So we will talk Cowboys defense. Mike Zimmer, we'll do some of that with our buddy Joe Hoyt, and that is coming up in about 120 seconds. But first, I want to talk to you about my friends at Z Biotics, which I've told you before. I am uniquely qualified
Oh my!
to talk about Z Biotics. Okay, had it last night. Had a volleyball game.
I'm so tired.
Had a volleyball game, and when I go out to play volleyball, I tend to have a few. And what you want to have, if you're going to have a few, is a game-changing product. It's called Z Biotics Pre-Alcohol. Our show code DLLS Cowboys. That'll get you 15% off with our show code DLLS Cowboys. After a night with drinks, a lot of times you don't bounce back the way that you used to. I'm 40.
He's a man.
I'm
I'm a man. I'm 40.
But 23, I just wake up and continue.
Let me tell you something.
40, I lay in shame. until Z-Biotics, pre-alcohol. If there's a surefire way to wake up feeling fresh after a night of the drinking, it's with Z-Biotics pre-alcohol. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic invented by PhD scientists to tackle the rough mornings after drinking. The way it works, when you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. And pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break that byproduct down. Just remember to make it your first drink of the night. Z-Biotics. Drink responsibly. You'll feel your best tomorrow. Go to zbiotics.com/DLLS Cowboys and get 15% off your first order when you use DLLS Cowboys at checkout. Pre-alcohol backed with a 100% money back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, head to zbiotics.com/DLLS Cowboys and use the code DLLS Cowboys at checkout for 15% off. Thank you, Z-Biotics, for sponsoring this episode and our good times.
Tailgates are coming.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's about that time.
Time to
Tailgates are
stock
coming.
up. Stock up on that thing.
We also have to talk about our friends at Empire Today, and we love Empire Today. Now, this studio, we need to have them swing through because we got carpet.
Yeah.
But out there in the other studio, they did do our flooring, and they're absolutely incredible. You can shop at home, get the right products for your needs, quick and professional installation. It's the best place to get new flooring. And so they have copycats, but they can't be beaten on quality, service, speed. And so what competitors do is they advertise really low quality products like, well, you can't beat this price. And Empire's like, yeah, because we wouldn't carry that product, bro. We're only doing the best stuff. Empire Today is absolutely the best. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can get a $350 off discount when they use the promo code DLLS. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/DLLS for details. Mike Zimmer stuff.
Yeah.
If you're here in the chat, y'all like Mike Zimmer? I like the way he looks.
What?
I like the way Mike Zimmer looks.
What do you mean?
Elaborate.
Like Dan Quinn was cool. Like he wore Jordans.
He was too cool.
And his hat was backwards.
Is that what you
He's
saying?
from Jersey, too. Be easy.
But Mike Zimmer, the Cowboys defensive coordinator now, he just kind of lets the defensive line coach Jeff Scanini yell at people. And he doesn't really yell at people or anything. He just kind of hovers. And he's kind of skinny, but he's got a gut. And he just looks like
When he
he's
crosses
there
his
to.
arms and
Yeah,
he's
he
like-
just looks like he's there to coach the football. And I believe in that. Looking at that dude, I'm like, yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's what a coach looks like.
He has like older dad, granddad vibes. Like, you know how like someone gives you that look from across the room and you know when you messed up.
You can feel it even if you're not
feel
looking
it,
at him.
Like, like, oh, I messed up. Like he gives you that vibe.
And he might spit one time. I don't know if he dips, but he strikes me as a guy that would. Like, he got a big old pinch in, and he just looks at you when you mess up a drill and looks at you for a second, looks left, and you just know, damn, coach.
Oh my God.
My bad. I'll get it right.
And that's why you like him, not because of his coaching style.
And then he looks right.
For
And
the
you're
love.
like, I got you, coach.
Oh my God.
You don't have to say anything. So he's going to run the defense this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to swing through. Kati, are we good on Joe? He's supposed to be calling in. Okay. Well, our buddy Joe Hoyt will be calling in from Out at the Star. He wrote an article
Joe,
about Mike Zimmer and the Cowboys defense and what it takes to play in his defense and how it looks different. And I think the money quote probably was stuff that came from Linval Joseph. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Day
before.
Yeah.
And talking about playing for Mike Zimmer. And it was kind of the same thing that we've heard before, which is everybody echoes the same thing where it's like, hey, don't F up.
Right.
What's the look that he gives you if you F up? You just did it.
That's how he looks?
I'm sorry. This segment, by the way, is brought to you by our friends at Game Time. And we love us some Game Time. Hold on. Let me figure out where I put my words, though. Because I got some words for you about
Oh my
Game Time.
goodness.
If you want to go to a game,
If you want to go to a game.
if you want to see
Game
Coach
Time.
Zimmer up close and personal, because he's not going to be in the box, he's going to be on
That's
the
right.
field. So if you're at the game from Game Time, you got
That's
to take it
right.
right before the game, you're like, man, what is Jeff talking about? What is that look that Coach Zimmer gives us? Get your tickets at Game Time.
Mm-hmm.
Log on to Game Time.
Uh-huh.
Use our code. What's our code?
Ours is DLLS. And
Yeah.
what you want to do is take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create that account. Game Time app, DLLS, $20 off.
Yeah.
Do it today. What time is it? Game time.
Then you can see Coach Zim. You can see him from get good tickets, and you can see Coach Zim up close personal. Because if you mess up,
Get bad tickets and binoculars.
well, then you can't hear it.
Yeah.
You can see it, but you can't hear it.
Yeah.
And if he comes to the sideline and somebody screwed up, we've seen the highlights of Coach Zim.
Oh yeah.
He gonna dog cuss you. So get good tickets at game time.
Yeah,
Then when
so
you
you
get
can
there,
hear it.
you're close. You can see it and hear and go. That's what Jeff was talking about.
Okay. Deal.
And Dance to Thunderstruck, because that's the jam. I'm
What?
being sarcastic.
Who's Jam? Oh.
Oh,
You've been thunderstruck. Let's go out to the star, Joe Hoyt, our beat writer for the Cowboys.
There him is.
Look at Jesse. You want to say it?
he's
Tell him
clapping.
something,
He's
Joe.
clapping too. He's clapping too. What is this clapping disease you have?
I figured since Clarence left with clapping that I just keep it going
Okay.
eventually
Oh
when I
my
got on, so I
God.
clapped. It's kind of like a wave situation. So
So we're talking about Mike Zimmer, and you have an article up on alldlls.com today. Is it live now? People can go find it right now on our website. All right. So Joe's got an article that's up with quotes from players and just sort of talking about the Mike Zimmer difference. So just walk us through what you're writing about and what people need to know about.
yeah, I think the one interesting thing about Mike Zimmer so far is kind of what his reputation preceded himself. We're talking about a fiery guy. We heard a lot of former Cowboys players echo like, hey, he's going to get guys in order. He'll cuss you out. I mean, Jesse was kind of talking about it a little bit too. And honestly, he's been very kind of, from my perspective, just watching a training camp, he was very controlled, very quiet. And, he was having breakfast with the guys. Wasn't this like crazy fiery guy that I expected. And frankly, one thing that Linval Joseph really talked about, he spent a lot of time with him. He was the big free agent acquisition Mike Zimmer had when he got to Minnesota. They spent 6 years together there. One thing he talked about is, hey, if you just don't mess up and if you're committed to doing your job for the defense, then it's all going to work out, right? Just don't make mistakes. I learned that the hard way, Linval Joseph talked about. And then you kind of talked to DeMarvion Overshown yesterday. This is a guy who's a rookie in the system. He's had 5 defensive coordinators or 5 defensive systems in 5 years if you go back to Texas. And he was kind of saying, hey, one thing I've learned, it's black and white. You do your job, you don't make mistakes, everything's going to be okay. If I commit to doing what I have to do so that Eric Kendricks can make plays, that's going to be the difference for this defense. And, you're already seeing Zimmer's influence in terms of bringing in guys like Linval Joseph, bringing in guys like Dalvin Cook, who, yes, who's on offense. But that's something that, when you talk opinions, that's something that Jerry Jones trusted. So, and then even talking about the roster makeup, we got 5 linebackers on the active roster. They got 3 more on the practice squad, including Nick Vigil, who was with Mike Zimmer in Cincinnati and Minnesota. Long story short, you are seeing Mike Zimmer's influence already on this team, and we have not even played it down.
The one thing I wonder about, because the names like Eric Kendricks can still play.
Like
Linval Joseph, I don't know. Nick Vigil, I don't know. Is any part of you wary when it's just like, oh yeah, this guy came in and it's like, what player should we get? And he's like, well, here's my phone. You start calling people that and that's kind of.
Here's my
I mean,
favorites.
I will say, in fairness, Dan Quinn did the same thing.
Oh, and I hated it.
Yeah, Dan
Yeah.
Quinn did the same thing. And some of these, Adante Fowler, some of these guys, Keanu Neal, don't get lost. It's not lost upon us
He was
that
terrible.
happened. So, there are some guys that Dan Quinn had a lot of, leeway to pull guys in and bring in as well. So it's
That didn't make me
it's
feel
not
better.
nothing new.
But here's the thing. It's not uncommon.
It's not uncommon.
All
Yeah, right.
coaches want to bring in guys.
Jeff just don't like it.
And that's
Oh,
fine.
no, I absolutely don't like it.
That's fine. But all coaches go out, and when they go to a new situation and they're in a new environment, the first thing that you do is, I need to go get me some guys that know my system, know my stuff, that I can rely on in a pinch. If I'm in a game and I need something to be changed or adjusted, I can go to Linval and say, hey, do this or do that. Or I can go to Eric Kendrick and say, hey, do this or do that. Like what Zim is doing is not uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
It's not uncommon offensively. It's not uncommon defensively. Mike McCarthy did the same thing. He brought some. Remember Randall Cobb was here for a little bit. Coaches bring in guys that they have a relationship with, familiarity with, because they want those guys to be an extension of their voice in the locker room, in practice, in meeting, to give those small little minute details in the overall scheme of things, and without the coach having to always be down someone's back about it.
Well, and Joe, you mentioned that, we're already kind of seeing Zim's impact. I think we're also seeing it in the scheme itself and some of the usage. We're seeing the return of the safety blitz. We're also seeing, just the usage of the linebackers. Clearly, the Cowboys realized they had to go out and get linebackers. That's a lot of Zimmer's system and some of the things he likes to do. So to me, I mean, and also too, talking to some of the secondary in the offseason when I got the chance, they were telling me just the fact that, you know, this is going to be a multiple defense in a sense. Don't make anybody sick, but it's really going to be matchup based, right? So it's not going to be, this is what we do straight up. It's going to be whatever the game calls for is what we're going to do. And I'm actually kind of excited about that because, and this is no shade, no tea to Dan Quinn, but people understood this defense. We heard Jordan Love talk about it with Michael, like, baby, we knew what y'all was going to do. We knew y'all were going to run big nickel. We knew you guys were going to run dime. And it's like, that's fine to have your system, but you need to be able to play the matchup game. You need to be able to do that. So that's the thing I'm most excited about with Mike Zimmer coming in.
And Aisha, you kind of pointed it out in terms of just, you know, schematically and things. You know that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he like sitting on the couch and he goes, whoop, whoop, you know, he points and he's like, oh, that's it. When they did the double A gap, you know, mug for the first time, that's exactly what I did in training camp, you know. And you saw, I mean, Jesse and Aisha, you both know this too. In training camp and preseason, a lot of stuff you see is pretty vanilla, right? You're not trying to really kind of disclose things. Well, we kind of know what Mike Zimmer does. So you saw a lot of disguised blitzes in preseason. You saw a lot of things getting these guys acclimated. And in terms of just kind of bringing in his own guys, he's also trying to teach a system. You know, Nick Vigil is one of the smartest guys in the NFL, people will tell you, right? And he's going to be on the practice squad. He can essentially be a player coach, acclimating some of these guys to the system, pulling them inside and said, hey, what did you see on that? This is kind of what Zimmer wants. This is what your role is in this situation. Go do it. So
I think also one of the biggest roles, and listening to what you wrote, reading and listening to what I've heard and what you wrote, Joe, is if you do what you're supposed to do.
Discipline.
That is something that has the Cowboys defensively has chased being a disciplined football team.
Talk about it.
But boy, they've been faster. Like discipline has chased them, but they've been faster. Right? Like no, seriously, like the Cowboys and all their, you know, leading the league in turnovers and leading the league in interceptions and then the sack records, for all those great things that they did under whoever was defensive coordinator, the one thing that has haunted them is the discipline. It's guys being where they're supposed to be, understanding that, because I get it. Everybody wants to credit. Everybody wants to be able to go out there and do their own thing. But to Linval's point is, hey, in this defense, under this defensive coordinator, you might not get the praise. Now, we may get the praise as a whole, but sometimes you got to be the dirty guy. Sometimes you got to be the guy to run in there and make the mash up, and someone else gets a tackle for loss.
Sometimes how you got to scrape, bro.
Sometimes, you know, right? And I think that's what I'm looking for the most. I want to see if the Zimmer impact has a major effect on this team's defensive discipline. We talk about alignment and assignment, but you got to be able to do it on a consistent basis. And this team defensively, for all the great players that it's had, all the great numbers that it's put up, in the moments that it mattered the most, the undisciplined reared its ugly head. And so I am keeping my good cat eye on the fact that can this team be consistently disciplined in what they're supposed to do under Mike Zimmer.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Thank you.
Thanks for being disciplined, Joe.
We're not going to clap.
Neither one of you is going to use words as your dismount. Neither one of us is going to say, all right, see you later,
God.
guys. They just clapping and saluting. Just get rid of Joe. We're done with Joe.
There you go. There's Clarence. There's Joe.
Bye, Joe. Thanks for your article, Big Dad.
Idiots out of here. AllDLLS.com. You can find all of the articles. We got 2 beat writers, 2 of them.
2.
Aisha got
like
2
eyes. And we got 2 eyes and 2
God.
beat writers.
Aisha has 2 eyes, and we got 2 beat writers. Coming up next, we are down to the for the Cowboys, so we know what this team actually looks like. They have signed a couple of guys. It's practice squad, but we'll mention them. But we're down to the 53. What are your concerns on this roster, and what are some of the things that you feel the best about? We'll kick that around. But first,
well, we have 2 eyes.
What?
You should make sure you should cover them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you should cover those 2 eyes with shaded rays. Get ready. That's good, right? That's a professional transition.
He's going back. Katya, you're on it.
Oh, you're on it, Katya.
No, you're good.
No, we're good. We're going to roll with it. Get ready for the season ahead of you. The quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premier and premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. We in tough times right now. CD's got a bunch of money.
Yeah,
Dak's about to get a bunch of money.
Got some money.
But us common folks, we don't got a lot of bread. So what you got to do is you got to go to our friends at Shady Rays, use our promo code DLLS, and get 35% off polarized glasses to get you ready for the season. Shady Rays, an independent sunglass company offering world-class product rated 5-star by over not 100,000, not 200,000, 300,000 people. The shades are very durable frames and crystal clear optics, making it the perfect choice for your outdoor activities, for your indoor activities, for your game watching, for your tailgating, for anything that you got to do outside. Plus, if your shades ever go missing, if they ever take an unexpected hit, they break, they do whatever, and if you want to change them out, don't sweat it. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Let's go.
You can get some new ones.
Let's go.
You can change them out.
Hit me
You can
up.
do all the things that you... And you're a young lady. You're a woman. You're a woman.
You're a woman.
You're a woman.
I am.
You change out purses. You change out bags. All that kind of stuff. Head over to see our friends at Shady Rays. Take 35% off polarized glasses. ShadyRays.com. Use our promo code DLLS to get that money off.
All right, let's talk about our friends over at Indeed as well. If you are out there and you need to hire, you need Indeed. It's your matching and hiring platform. They've got over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, messaging, so you can connect with candidates faster. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers say Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites. That's according to a recent Indeed study. Sorry, I got myself stuck. So you guys on this show, you get $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/AllCity. Just go to Indeed.com/AllCity right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Segment 3 of the DLLS Cowboy Show. Thank you to everybody who's with us. Mash the...
Yeah. Hit the like button.
Hit the like button. That's what we need.
Please.
Likes, subscribes, and comments.
Yes.
We'd also love for you to become a diehard if that's something that you're into. I was in their Discord server
It is kind of lit in there.
this morning talking to people about the new Rings of Power show, Final Fantasy VII, Meat, the Cowboys, all sorts of stuff.
So you do Final Fantasy... Wait. That's a video game, yes?
It is, yeah. That's a game.
Not the TV show that you're talking about.
No, TV shows Rings of Power. It's a prequel to Lord of the
Way
Rings.
too many rings for me, man.
It
There's
is
a lot
a-
going on.
It
Oh,
is
are
a
you
lot.
excited? Is it a new thing?
Yeah, 3 episodes dropped today, season 2.
Okay, I'm actually kind of excited for
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings fans. It's not I can't get jiggy to it,
Yeah, I can.
but I
You read all the books too,
You
right?
should be
Oh,
excited.
yeah,
It's been
yeah.
forever since you guys have had anything, right?
Yeah, the
Okay,
COVID really
I-
jacked up releasing things. We had to
Okay.
wait a long time. No, it's the strike thing. I think it's the strike
Oh.
thing.
The writer's strike.
Yeah, I'm bad at TV and movies, but I like to watch stuff.
Shout out to all the... What are they called? The Dwindledorf?
I'm sorry.
Never mind. What are they called? The Dwindledorfs?
Who?
The Lord of the Ring people.
The dwarves?
What do they have like? Don't they have like different? That's a different show.
I don't,
Dumbledore is the teacher, the headmaster at
Muffin.
Hogwarts and Harry Potter.
I don't even know. Listen, all I know about is my guy Dobby.
I tried. Okay, I tried.
Not you walking off set.
Tried. I tried.
Dobby.
I was trying to meet you where you were,
Yeah.
and I took the wrong exit.
No, you did fine.
I'm sorry.
I like Dobby though.
Like I don't.
He's
I'm
so
sorry.
ugly. He's cute.
Oh, Dobby is a house elf.
Yeah.
Jesse.
He's
Jesse.
so little
Yeah, he is.
but ugly.
Stick to my
But I
ribs and
still
legs
love
that I'm used
him.
to.
He's also dead.
Why would you say that? I mean, it's true, but still. Alrighty, we're getting off.
Cowboys
was
made all their
just-
cuts.
They
I wasn't
did.
even on a race.
Let
Oh
me-
God, that was
Sorry.
crazy.
Sorry, big dog.
More of this on Discord.
Yeah,
We
more
can't
of this.
know
Oh
everything.
yeah. Jump. You did. If that didn't make you want to be a diehard, what could? You know. More deets on how to do all that later, but all DLLS.com will get you there. Cowboys are down to 53-man roster. We know who's on the team now.
We do.
I don't know that them really cutting people changes the conversation all that much because it's just a matter of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 different names than you thought might have made the team. We kind of knew what we were getting ourselves into. But now that we're here and we do know what the Cowboys roster looks like, I thought we could kick around what are the areas that you look at and you go, ooh. And then if there's any that you look at and you go, oh, yes. But we can start with concerns and then we can work our way around to the things that make
Baby,
you...
we should, out of the three of us, I hope it ain't that many.
What?
Shoot.
Concerns?
Yeah, I mean,
I have at least 1, 2,
You said that we could kick it around. I hope we're not kicking it around that much. That means we got a problem.
Oh. Well, then we could kick it around for like 90 seconds and then talk about how amazing they are.
Oh, we got to do something because...
You don't have that many concerns?
No. I have
at
some.
least
What
3.
I'm saying is that collectively, if we go down and it's like, oh, I got one more, we got a problem.
I
boss.
got you.
Yeah.
I think for me, the biggest thing, and let me preface my comment by saying this, there is tons of upside there, but
Oh, jeez.
there's always a but.
But
Big O. Shout out to EU.
and a lot of people would say that the only words that matter are the words that come after the but.
Yes. And some would
Been in
say,
therapy.
wannabes ain't never make no honey. Who said that?
Used to be's.
Is it wannabes or used to be?
No, used to be's. Because
Used to be's. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here's my thing. The offensive line. And I'm not crapping on anything or anyone. I'm just saying that we're putting a ton of hopium in projection. While Tyler Guyton has come out and has fared really, really well in training camp.
Yep.
In the games and in practice, same thing with
Cooper
Beebe. But like I spent literally like 40 minutes yesterday talking to the great Nate Newton, 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. And there's their technique issues.
Oh, yeah.
And that is a concern to me because while practice is one thing, while preseason games are one thing, when you get down to the game planning, when you get down to the nuts and bolts of what it is down in and down out, defensive coordinators, defensive players, their job is to find out what your weakness is and how can we highlight it. How can we attack that as much as we possibly can, as often as we possibly can with our best players.
Yeah.
And you look into the first game of the season and it's the beams are screaming Myles Garrett.
Tight end's gonna be busy, boss.
And for a guy like Tyler Guyton who has those issues of sometimes maybe, being off balance, sometimes hand placement not where it's supposed to be, you just can't have that as against a guy of that caliber coming off the edge. And then in the inside, and like your point, you can always help outside. I can always put a tight end over there, fullback could go over there. I can roll the opposite way away from him. I can add a back over there. But then you go to the middle of the defense, and you can nerd out and bring the numbers up. When Dak has a clean middle of the pocket, one of the best dudes out there. It's when that pocket gets a little bit shady. It's when it gets a little bit murky, it gets a little bit mucky, and that thing is backing into his lap, is where you see the throws go high, they're off target, they're intercepted. So now you have a center there who he's going to have to learn on the job. And then you go outside to the right tackle and feel how you feel. There's been up and down with Terrence Steele. So my concern is how long before this thing gels and really gels and does those rookie roller coaster moments happen less or more often? Like that, I'm still not sold as a unit that this is a solid unit that's ready to go week one that's going to give me what I need.
Well, I mean, in regard to Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe, them being rookies, them being young and coming in, I'm more concerned about Tyler Guyton's technique than Cooper Beebe's. Cooper Beebe's technique has been incredibly clean. And so for me, it was always the snapping or whatever the case may be. But when you talk about the quarterback, he dealt with the interior pressure, but it was different because the last center was getting beat off the snap immediately. And again, Cooper Beebe is going to have his struggles as well, but he doesn't struggle with power, and technique is not really the thing. And there is going to be some things he needs to clean up, but I'm more so looking at Tyler Guyton as a guy. But then my mind goes to a lot of the issues that Tyler Guyton has is the same issues that Tyler Smith had. And yeah, we dealt with some holds. We dealt with some stuff that wasn't, ideal in some moments. However, he eventually started to get it. And when you look at offensive line, like these guys are taking the time to go out and learn on their own. Jesse, there's not a lot of time for these guys individually to develop. So we're also seeing that the expectation for these guys is different than even maybe it was back when Mr. Newton was playing. It's like these guys are expected to be good like right away. Everyone's very microwave about the development of offensive linemen, and I think that's a lot of positions in the league. So for me, I agree with you that there are going to be growing pains, but I think that's kind of to be expected at this point, because you look across the league, this was a heavy offensive line class. A lot of people are going to be starting rookies out there, and they're probably having the same worry. So it's like, I get it, but it's kind of expected, and you're just going to have to work through it, to me.
I think they're the offensive line to me is the most interesting, and Dak's the most important, right?
Right.
Most, like, the success of this team is going to be determined by that offensive line, and they're the most interesting to me. Mm-hmm. Because when you talk about Cooper Beebe and what he's good at, and how, in theory, with a third-round rookie, the run game could be better, and he's stronger than the guy he's replacing, and all these different things, I feel like it just gets totally washed away that the guy who's gone is a $9 or $10 million player in Washington.
Yeah,
like Badish didn't suck.
He can play.
He was
not.
a starting NFL center, and we're going to throw a
Absolutely.
rookie in there. And we know that we see some of the things that we like about the new guy, where it's like, and I feel like so many people just assume we're going to be better at center, and I could see it, but I think you got to be careful.
But they're different. They're different, though.
Right.
That's what makes you think you will be better in the run game. I think that Cooper Beebe is a better athlete than Biotish as far as getting out in space, getting to the second level. I think that Cooper Beebe is stronger. His lower half is stronger than what, and that's what happened last year. To your point, Jesse, the quarterback is having someone in his lap at the snap a lot of the time. But this offensive line could not get to the second level to save their life. So to me, I think you do have the guys to do that. It's gonna be some growing pains, Jesse. You out there. This Cleveland defense, we're gonna get into it, but they're gonna deploy these guys in different ways. Sometimes they even bring corner blitzes off the edge and stuff. So it's gonna be a chess match in a sense. But I just think we're gonna have to just live through it, and a lot of teams are living through it, because this class was heavy offensive line. So you're gonna be able to take advantage of that as well when you play some of these other teams as well.
And Tyler Guyton's going to have to be pretty good, because
He is.
Because Jesse.
Wait.
I just need Jesse to know.
Oh, my God.
Dak is used to having to avoid the guy that's coming from where your right tackle is.
Vice grips.
He's used to running out that way.
Right.
But he's used to that side being fine.
100%.
Tyron had that covered.
Yeah.
I know where I got to go. You can picture. I think everybody out there can picture.
I gotta go back and left.
Picture you either go back and left, or how many plays can you picture in your mind that were big plays for the Cowboys last year, where it's Hut, he waits a second, he runs forward and right, outside the right guard, inside the right tackle who got beat outside, runs that way, makes a play. He's used to making. He can cover for Terrence Steele. He's used to it.
Right.
And Terrence does look better this year, but he's not used to having to cover for both tackles. So Guyton better get it going.
Which is why I think when you look at going back to the roster cuts, I think that's why they kept a Brevin Spann forward. I know we talked about the money and things like that, but Schoonmaker is my
Trash. I'm sorry.
We can't do that on here.
Sir.
No, he's not. Don't say that.
My bad.
I like the face you made, though.
What would it say? Your intrusive thoughts got the best of
Yeah,
you?
Yeah, I got you.
It got me.
The darkness
With
one.
all due respect, I'm sorry.
The darkness one.
Sorry.
But Schoonmaker, you can't rely on his availability right now. And outside of him, whereas I think John Stevens Jr. has really shown that he's going to be a better blocker, specifically on the outside, you still need another tight end that you are confident can develop into a better. Because I think Brevin Spann Ford has the ability. I think that he wasn't as good as I thought he would initially be, looking at his college tape or whatever. He figured out some things in the preseason game. But I think, like Clarence said the other day, Brevin Spann Ford is more so Schoonmaker insurance for the blocking. What are you giggling
Shout
about?
out to my people in Maine. Send your boy a couple of some of that clan.
What you giggling about?
I have terrible short-term memory, so I forget things that just happened. But when I looked up and saw the chat, and somebody just in all caps typed "trash," love it, and his username is Toxic Tom.
Toxic Tom.
Oh no, Toxic is about that action. Now y'all ain't seen Toxic before. I know who Toxic is. What's up, Toxic?
He said, "Holly, never change. Keep it real."
but nah, like I think the
People
tight
always
ends.
tell me to keep it real till I get fired, and then nobody never sends
Yeah,
money.
you shouldn't be doing
Y'all
that.
always tell me to keep it real. Then I get fired, and no one ever sends money. No one ever sends help for this mortgage that I got to pay every month. But y'all love it. No, I'm just playing.
Send in some super chats.
No, the
chat
tight
us
ends.
up.
The tight ends. The tight ends are going to be important to your offensive line's success and their ability to run the ball. They weren't sustaining blocks on the outside last year either, getting whooped off the line a lot. So I think that's an important part of like what you're looking for when you talk about the run game getting better, Jeff. What do you think about the tight ends and their blocking abilities?
I'm terrified. I think Ferg's fine. I think Schoon is okay-ish when he's healthy. Spanford is a wild card because of everything you said. Like, you'd watch college tape and be like, oh, that guy can block. And then you'd watch him in camp and be like, what the hell is happening
And
right
Lunda,
now?
we trust.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, one thing about Lunda, he's a tight end whisperer. I think he can get him blocking all right.
Let's just keep going because we have a bunch of other position groups that we have to talk about.
Big facts.
But I do want to plug our diehards for a second. I want you guys to know. I want you guys to join and become a diehard here on ALLDLLS.com. And what you get for that is you get all sorts of bad. Look at the little thing that says official member thing. I think you get you.
So
you get a little membership card that says you're a diehard. Because if you're a psycho about all your local sports teams, why wouldn't you want to hang out? Somebody put this in our Discord. That's for the diehards. When you sign up, you get access to the Discord server
get
where we all
bumper
hang out.
stickers. I'm on
We
it.
should get bumper stickers.
Bumper stickers.
This guy named Mark was in there, and yesterday morning I saw him type this out where somebody's like, I'm really excited about this. And he goes, centralized place to talk about all the Dallas sports with fellow sickos. Signed up as soon as I heard. So, like, that's my new motto.
It's like
It's
therapy.
a centralized place to talk about Dallas sports with fellow sickos. And that's what you get. You get a free T-shirt when you sign up.
Yeah, come on.
You get discounts
Merch
on
is
merch.
sick.
The merch is
Yeah, I really like it.
Go
a
dumb
lot.
hard.
the merch is good.
You can talk to us.
Go to alldlls.com and check out the merch.
Fire.
And we'll have events. Like, that's just 3 of them.
That's
five,
my
that's
shirt.
5 of them.
That's my shirt right there.
I do
I
like
like
the
the
one
one
on the
in the
skyline.
middle.
I like the one on the far right that's kind of hidden beneath the gray one. Like, I like the black and white. I think
Nah,
that
that
kinda
blue one
pops,
up
or
front
blue
with the
and white.
4D, the D. Oh, that's sick.
The D and L, and then they're not for any particular reason. Those color schemes, obviously, there's nothing copyright about that. It's just
Cool color scheme.
Yeah. So anyway, sign up to be a diehard. It'll be fun. And I do have a couple of questions from diehards.
Okay.
That'll be an accidental perk that we'll get to inside this segment. But yeah, if we're talking about things that you're worried about this season, I think we knew it a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago. The defensive line. Linval Joseph is 36.
Yeah, but he's just going to take up space and exist, really.
Uh-huh.
Eat sandwiches and be a big body.
Well, yeah, but you have to exist and not let
Yeah,
people
like-
do stuff to you.
We thought that about another big guy that we had here.
When we had Don Terry Poe, it was like,
Another
oh yeah,
big
we got a
guy
big
that
guy.
we had.
He's better than
Gerald
those
McCoy.
guys right now, though.
He's better than what?
He's better than those
Jonathan
guys
Hankins.
were.
Like we've had a couple.
I remember the tape.
We've had a couple thick ones in there.
That's fair.
That didn't quite.
We're hoping that the guys that Zim knows and wanted to bring in, because they tried, right? There's a reason these guys got here when they got here. They tried. They went through camp and it was like, let's give a shot to a whole bunch of different dudes and see if anybody can earn a spot. And at the end of it, they went, nope. And then they looked around and they were like, all right, who?
You mean like even their first round pick?
I think the first round pick is their best nose tackle, whatever that means.
All right.
He's their best nose tackle at times.
Who?
Mozzie.
Yeah, I mean, but I thought the loss of, I don't know if you guys watched, but I thought Justin Rogers showed some things. Like, he's the only draft pick that they actually let go.
I think a
He was
year from
playing
now,
yesterday.
he will be a rotational defensive
Yeah,
tackle.
I thought he would be a good rotational. He just looked really natural at the position, and I was really confused to see him go because I thought he had some upside in it. He might have outperformed some of the other guys that we're talking about right now, too.
Oh, I thought Rogers for most of camp was more consistent than Mozzie. I just think Mozzie has more natural gifts that once you slap it into the 11 on 11
Track
and
in.
Skanina's not screaming at him, that once in a while you can see Mozzie do some things that you're like, oh, Rogers can't do
But
that.
y'all don't think this is weird, though? Like you're talking about the defensive line, and I'm like, you lost 3 guys, essentially. How are you in, like, AT double hockey sticks?
Well, because
You
not
lost
only, I mean,
Hankins. You lost Dorrance Armstrong.
Yeah.
And you lost Dante Fowler. That's it.
And you lost Sam Williams to
Oh,
injury.
yeah, and you lost Sam Williams. So,
like, if you want to do the numbers, I actually crunched it this morning. You lost 22 of your 46
that's
sacks.
facts. That's facts. And I get that
And
part.
that's and I'm not even. I was talking about D tackles. I hadn't even talked about those
the
guys.
edge, the production. So you are lacking the production from the edge. So I guess less D tackles. Like, okay, maybe you can match Hankins' production. But I understand the edge stuff because Dante Fowler and Dorrance Armstrong, when they would come in there, they had fresh legs. They would get after the quarterback, and I don't know where that is on this defensive line behind Micah, Tank, and Marshawn Nealon.
I think it's produced schematically.
You're going to have guys who have
Ick.
1 and 2 sacks
You know-
have 3 and 4 sacks.
Right, and I think like
Damone Clark has to have 3 sacks. Eric Kendricks gets 3 sacks. Jordan Lewis gets 3 sacks.
I think they bring DeMarion Overshown and some pass rush opportunities as well.
and this is the gift that you're hoping that Zim brings. You're hoping that in these exotic looks and these exotic blitzes that people begin to miscount, right, from inside out, right, or outside in, however you want to do it. But you're hoping that schematically what you lost in just sheer productivity from a player's perspective, that you get it now back in some way, shape, or form in the mastermind of Zim, and being able to deploy different people in different situations and scenarios that open up those spaces for guys to get the tackle for losses and the sacks and the pressures and so forth. Because that's really how Zim is really based. It's based.
Yeah.
Yes, players matter. let's not ever confuse that. But for Zim, he's like, of course, his foundation is, hey, double A gap, and then from there, when they recount. Right? When they recount it now, you don't know if these guys are coming or going, how it's going to happen. I'm hoping that, that guard slides down
and neither one's coming. The corner's coming.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm able to produce these type of things because I tricked you.
Right.
And my scheme gives me the advantage, the number advantage, because that's how I get down.
Well, that plays into even more so what you were talking about, Jesse, as far as like them being disciplined and being in the right place too. Because if you are going to do those things, you can't have guys out of position.
Correct.
You got to have guys getting home. And so, I mean, I like what you're saying. It's just, I always learn, and again, like, still learning. I always learn you want to be able to get home with 4. Yes?
Oh yeah, in a perfect
in a
world, if you
perfect
can
world,
drop
right,
if you can
100%.
drop 7 and still get pressure, yes.
Yeah.
You send more because
You can't.
You can't.
Right.
Yeah, and so like that's like the only part of it is where I get kind of tight, because when you look at the Giants, remember, they couldn't get pressure unless they were blitzing. I don't want to be that team. I don't want to be that team that can only get pressure when you're blitzing. But I will say too, I'm gonna give him some love. Chauncey Golston has moved back to his home at DE. At DN. He is not a D tackle anymore, and
when he played D tackle, he kept going that way.
yeah, but he's
Go this way.
he's shown some pass rush ability through camp and through the preseason. One thing I will say, we were complaining about them not being able to stop the run, baby. It looks like they're going to be able to do that. Like
They are?
Every edge you have is a run stopper.
I know, but you lost your D tackle to stop the run.
And but I think again, I have a lot of respect for Hankins, but I think that we might need to take a step back and really look at the numbers last year. And again, it was different when Hankins was in. It was a difference, maybe like a yard difference, but he dealt with injuries in key moments and going into the playoffs and things like that as well.
I think that's the most worrying part, is that, honestly, I agree with you. Hankins wasn't great last year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that he was a good starter. He was
I'm trying
way
to,
better than
I'm
everybody
gonna be-
else we had.
Exactly. So even with that, I'm like, I think you can still get some equal production in that way.
It's
so
going to be the
I'm not.
linebackers.
The linebackers
That's
are
gonna
what's
make the
going to
difference.
save your life, and you have corners and safeties that like to tackle.
Yeah.
Like, so that's a thing as well. But it's the fact that I don't know who the backup edge rushers are going to be when, these guys need a breather, stresses my spirit.
Chauncey in week 1.
It says Tyrus Wheat.
Muhammad in week 2.
Didn't they cut him? He's on the practice squad?
No, they cut him.
Did they cut it and he
him.
didn't bring back practice squad? Because I
that
knew he
I
had
know.
the okay.
So Carl Lawson?
So
Well,
it's
they cut him because they had to use the roster spot for Cook, I believe. I didn't see him come back on the practice squad.
I didn't see it either.
Okay, then you're talking Chauncey Golston is edge 4, and edge 5 is Tyrus Wheat. And that's just, all right, it's a guy on an NFL team. But those guys aren't going to play a ton.
Guys, I'm saying we're getting down to DE number 4. That's some issues. Like,
I mean,
they'll play 20% of the snaps, give or take, right? Like Nealon will play 60 to 70. Michael will play 70 to 80% of the snaps. Tank will play 60% of the snaps. You're fine. You just can't take an injury. This team's kind of top heavy, is what they got.
And they used to not, in these certain positions, they used to not be. But to your point, like, you going to make your money at linebacker. But to answer your question, a position that I feel better about now that we know that DeMarvio and Overshown is okay is linebacker.
It's my favorite group.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of versatility in this room. But to your point, I think that I can't wait to see how Zimmer uses them and how he deploys them on blitzes and stuff like that coming into this season. I mean, I wonder where – I'm trying to figure out where Marist fits because I know –
He's the fourth linebacker.
Well, exactly, but people keep saying he's the starter. He's starting.
No, he's starting.
I think Damone's going to start if he's healthy.
I think, like, you can talk about playing 3 linebackers, but I think for most of the snaps you'll have 2 of them, and it'll be – if I had to pick who's going to play the most snaps, I think it's Kendricks, then Overshown, then Damone Clark, then Marist Leofau.
Dog, you scaring me. I just thought about it. Like, I don't want to be a team that got a blitz to get pressure. It's making me sick inside.
Blitzing's
thinking
fun.
About it.
Blitzing's fun. I kind of like the defense. Who was it that did it last year? It's not going to come to me quick enough. But last year, they were the team that sent 6 or more the most and dropped 7 the most. Like, it was like, it's one or the other. We're going or we're not.
Sounds like Baltimore. Sounds like something like Baltimore would do.
I forgot who it was.
Wait, say it again?
It might have been Houston. The D coordinator that basically they blitzed multiple people.
I think it was Houston.
7 every play.
I think it was
There
Houston.
was no in between, and it was awesome. I do want to sneak in some stuff from our diehards because we do have questions from the diehards. We do want you to hit the subscribe button. We want you to smash the like button, do all those things. And wherever you get your podcasts, DLLS, Cowboys, and also Mavericks and Stars and Rangers, for crying out loud. But, yeah, questions from diehards. Ben said, if Dak leaves next season, how would you approach finding a new QB? Suffer and draft or try to find an established starter? I'll cry if this becomes reality. I mean, I bet 40% of the Metroplex wants it.
I'm just going to go to therapy because it's going to be a long road.
Obviously, we're going to pick Shedeur Sanders.
You're not picking.
We're going to fire McCarthy. We're going to hire Dion.
They're going to Temu.
It'll be I don't know. You go find your Baker.
I'm just going to call my girl. She going to know what's up.
Matt Baker?
No, like Baker Mayfield with the Bucks. Like you find the first rounder who
Matt Baker was a quarterback
kind of okay.
in Dallas long time ago. He was my quarterback in college, but I'm sorry.
Cam, what's the most likely scenario for 2025? Both Dak and McCarthy are back in Dallas. Only one is back, or both are on another team. I don't think Dak's going anywhere, so I would get rid of both are gone.
You know, there's something, to steal your term, there's something in my spirit.
Yeah.
Something that's got my spirit revved up, riled up.
In other words, you got bubble. You got bubble gut.
My spirit disturbed.
I'm sorry.
You think Dak might go?
If you continue to let your girl go out there and be flirted with, and
one day she'll leave.
One day she's not gonna come back.
I'm tired of y'all.
I'm just trying to tell you, because sometimes you get a little comfortable and you think I got money and I got this nice big old house and I got these nice good things and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes all she wants to do is feel and be told she's pretty and be loved on and appreciated. And I just, in my spirit is disturbed that if you let this thing linger on and he gets out there, because if I get to the offseason, Dak has never had an opportunity to be courted.
Yeah.
Never. So now when you go out there and you hear those sweet nothings and they whisper into your ear and they got the nice presentation and all that kind of stuff and the money still is still the same, if not more. Yeah. Like, you allow that opportunity, like, that could bite you in the butt.
He might be sick of your ass, Jerry.
Like, I'm telling you, like, sometimes hold your girl close.
I also, too,
tell her you love her.
I would, oh, my God.
Kiss her.
Easy.
Get him out of here. But I know. I think with what's
I'm
going on.
with Sadiqa. What the hell is Jesse talking about?
Jesse tripping over here. I don't know. I got what he was saying. I got what you were saying.
I understood the gist.
I
You
did.
didn't have to do as much as you did.
I don't understand why
Sadiq, let
so
your
many
girl go
people
out with you
hate
too many
Mike
times. I
McCarthy.
bet you she won't come home on time.
Oh my God. Are you?
Mike McCarthy's my guy.
I don't understand the
I
disdain
tell the McCarthy
for Mike
hater,
McCarthy.
I'll fight you. I wouldn't fight anybody, but I'll punch you in the
I don't
hamstring if
get
you
it.
let
They
me.
hate on who?
Mike McCarthy.
McCarthy.
Oh. We all know where I stand on Mike.
Y'all know how hard
How
it
do
is to
you
win
stand?
football games?
There was nobody who stood on the table harder than when
Yeah.
we were in the hiring process of a coach.
Freaky Mike, he called him.
I called him Freaky Mike.
Freaky Mike.
And
I
he got
think-
here on my birthday.
Like, who has more wins than him since he's been here? Andy Reid? Like, is that it?
Yeah.
Well, he had the 1 year where Dak was broken. But, like, the last 3 years,
I don't
12 wins
understand.
is great. You want
I'm-
them to play better in the playoffs, and I get it. But to let that be a reason that everyone sucks, I think you're going a little overboard.
I don't understand why everyone wants to fire this man. And even if they didn't make it to the playoffs and get past the second round, like, what do we?
McCarthy's a good head coach.
He's a good. Like, I don't understand the thinking of, like, let's fire the guy that's made this team look better the last 3-4 years. than
Unless you take
anybody
his Jerry,
else.
stop lying to me about the check you would write and pay whoever you think is the best head coach on planet Earth $40 million a year. Just change the whole world. Because you said you'd write any check. You're a liar.
Oh my God, y'all trying to get us canceled?
Well, I mean, you could spend $100 million on your coaching staff. I'll write any check. There's no cap there. Do it. All right, listen, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We just got canceled. We just got an email that said we're canceled. But we'll see you tomorrow anyway. Thanks for hanging out. Aisha, Jesse, I'm Jeff. Katia's over there. You don't get to see her. but
That's
she's
our
badass.
girl.
What up, Kit Kat?
Remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through. Be cool to everyone. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.
What is?
We all silly like the mayor.